Welcome to another Southern California Prep Insider football podcast. I'm Morris, Shotgun Spratling here to give you top 10 teams, some players who played well last week, and I look forward at some of the games for this weekend that will all be on the Fox Sports Go app. So make sure you download that so you can watch all the football games we'll be talking about. Shotgun, I will give you the floor to discuss your hat of the week.
Well, being from Georgia and going to college in Tennessee, there was a ton of orange every time I went anywhere in college. So, when Georgia just beats up on Tennessee this week, I gotta rep the Bulldogs after that one. It was a fun game to watch as growing up a Georgia fan, and then all of my college buddies being Tennessee fans. So very fun to watch that one. So give them props to Georgia this time.
Was your Troy Trojans hat lost in the wash somewhere after their win against LSU?
Yeah. I don't have an LSU hat, or else I probably would have broke that one out instead. I mean, what a big win for the Troy Trojans, and Ed Orgeron, former USC coach, in a little hot water now just because of that one.
Yeah, not the best way to start your first year. He's a better interim coach than coach. He's always got the interim tag. He's fine. They should just always have him as the interim coach. Anyway, Shotgun, let's get down to some high school stuff. That's why we're here. Top 10 teams in the Southern section.
We'll start with number 10, San Clemente, now 6-0 after beating Edison 23-20. Rematch of a playoff game last year. The Tritons able to find a way to get a win there. They were ahead the whole time, and you got a big game from Austin Whitsett on the ground. He had a nice performance there for them to get the win.
And I would like to add with that too as well. That game will be on the TV show for Friday. Watch that at 7 p.m. Fox Sports Prime Ticket. I was there with Sarah Chafee. Good game. As I said, Austin, great game on the ground. They kind of struggled to get the offense going in the beginning, but they figured out a way, as all good teams do. And great atmosphere at that stadium. I don't know how many people have gone to watch a game there, but it is one of the better ones that I've seen in Southern California.
Yeah, it looked like a fun one from checking in on Twitter and from the Fox Sports Go app as well. Had to put that pulled up on my phone while watching the USC game on TV. So making sure checking out all the high school games at the same time. Number 9, got Orange Lutheran, 5-0. They were idle this week. All the Trinity leagues were idle, so we'll hear that word again a couple times during the top 10 because got a couple Trinity League teams in there. Number 8, Chaminade on Thursday. They beat Gardena Serra 37-32. Big game from Andrew Van Buren. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Michael Wilson with an 80-yard TD as well. Chaminade now 5-1. They're only lost to St. John Bosco. Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm going to jump in again real quickly. Great plug here. Dallas Taylor Cortez, their defensive back for Chaminade, will be on the show on Friday as well. So go ahead and check out that. Again, 7 p.m. Fox Sports Prime Ticket. He's going to talk to Katie Awesome. So.
Sounds like a good thing to do. I would check it out.
Recently committed to Iowa State. Iowa State commit. Going to be a Cyclone. Who had awesome helmets this week, by the way. I don't know if you got to see those.
Awesome helmets by Iowa State. What are you doing wearing the gray pants with the red uniform? So
you can't wear all red.
Yes, you can, because you can't wear the gray pants. They just look terrible. You break out these new helmets; they look great. You don't want to destroy it by wearing terrible, tacky two-tone colored with gray pants. But anyways, let's move back up the top 10. We got 7. We got Upland 5-0. They were idle as well as number 6, JSerra 5-0. Number 5, Rancho Cucamonga, who's now 4-0. They beat Citrus Hill 30-0. Ben Constable had a 55-yard interception in that one. Number 4, Centennial. They're only 3-1. They were also idle back-to-back weeks that they were off. It's kind of weird scheduling in my opinion, but they're off as well. Number 3, Bosco, 4-1. They were idle as well. Number 2, Mission Viejo, 6-0. Now they beat El Toro 49-17. Joey Yellen, 15-24, 423 yards and 4 TDs. 3 of those going to our man Elijah Griffin. 3 catches, 147 yards. He had 4 TDs on the day, 3 of them receiving. Don't know if he did any backflips again like he did for Sarah Chafee out there. Number 1 is, of course, Modern Day, 5-0. They're still undefeated, and we're not going to move them from that spot until someone else takes them from that spot.
Real quick, if you're a head coach, allow the kids to do backflips? Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
What do you make nervous?
The athletes to do backflips. Okay. It depends on the athlete. I don't want any offensive linemen trying to do it because it's very dangerous if you do not complete the full turn of the backflip. You're either busting a knee up or you're even worse, you're landing on your neck. So let's not get any 300-pounders doing it.
Right. If your head doesn't clear the ground by at least, I'd say 1.5 foot, don't do it.
Backflips into the pool. I'm okay with that.
Okay, there we go. So even if it's as long as it's a deep enough pool.
Yes, obviously.
Okay, perfect. All right. Just want to make sure we get that in there. Okay, so kids who had good games last week, Shotgun, who was on your radar?
Standout players, I mean, we'll start with Chaminad's Andrew Van Buren, like we said, 39 carries, 312 yards, 5 TDs, and a big win over Serra. Close games, they needed all those carries. He gets our Ice Bath Award for the week after the 39 carries. In that game as well, though, Doug Brumfield, a sophomore from Serra, making his first start after Blaze McKibben had a bruised liver last week. That's a tough injury to take. Doug Brumfield started at quarterback, 36 of 46, 320 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 interception in loss. And 17 of those catches went to John Jackson III. He had 123 yards and 17 catches. Move over to the Calabasas-Valencia game. Also on Thursday night, pretty much every offensive player in the game. I mean, this game was absolutely crazy. Calabasas beats Valencia 65-63, despite twice being down by some 12-point deficits. You know, they found a way to win. They got a big defensive stop at the end. It might have been the only one in the game. So let's look at some of the numbers here. We'll start with Calabasas. Jaden Casey, their quarterback, threw the ball 54 times, 544 yards, 8 touchdowns. 8 touchdowns. Not too bad for, I believe, a sophomore quarterback there. 10 catches and 199 yards and 3 touchdowns for Johnny Wilson. Micah Pittman had 6 catches, 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Nico Hall, 7 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. When you got 3 receivers that have at least 144 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game, probably going to be a good night for the offense.
Yeah, and for the quarterback as well. I would assume. That's me.
Definitely. On the other side, looking at Valencia, they had some big numbers as well. Moises Haynes, 215 yards rushing, 4 TDs. He also had 6 catches and 52 yards receiving. Cooper Downs, their quarterback, 24-35, 425 yards, a TD in the air, and another one on the ground for him. And Zachary Zimko, 7 catches, 133 yards. I mean, anybody on offense might have made the standout players this week, because that was just a crazy game, offense back and forth. It took one defensive stop, though, and that was the difference in it. Calabasas gets that win, 65-63, in a matchup of 2 undefeated teams so far. A couple other guys we got on the list. Matt Corral from Long Beach Poly, 25-39, 457 yards, 5 TDs in the air, 2 more on the ground, rushing 7 total TDs. Cameron McDonald was his favorite target on the night. He had 143 yards and a TD, the tight end commit for USC. Chase Peterson at Tesoro, 23 of 44, 357 yards and 6 touchdown passes, including the game winner with 15 seconds left to John Cody to beat Los Alamitos 48-44. Cody had 9 catches, 144 yards, and 4 touchdowns himself. Pretty good day for a wide receiver there.
Not bad.
Couple other receivers we got on the list. Michael Mian from Westminster, 6 catches, 137 yards, and 2 TDs in a 41-20 win over Beckman. I got Paul Pifferi from Villa Park, 317 yards passing, 295 yards, and 5 TDs in the first half of a 59-0 win. Justin Dupree led Foothill to their first win with 175 yards rushing, 2 TDs, and a 12-yard TD catch. Cyrus Collins from Orange, 7 carries, only 7 carries, but he got 103 yards, a 54-yard rushing TD. Also had 6 catches for 82 yards and 2 TDs in a 45-14 win. The Marino duo of Blake Ritterich, who had 158 yards rushing and 5 total touchdowns, and Brendan Savai had 6 carries and 182 yards. We got Santiago's running back Dylan Orung, who had 31 carries, 206 yards, and 2 TDs. Zach Rittner from Capistrano Valley had 3 sacks. Tyler Jones from Aliso Niguel had TD catches of 34 yards and 35 yards. He added an 84-yard punt return as well in a 41-21 win over Sonora. I mean, we got a lot of standout players this week. I'm going to continue going. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
A lot of guys this week. We went through a lot of box scores to check in on guys because of having some of those idle games in the Trinity League. So we want to give you guys some standouts from around the southern section as well, including Keo McChesney from Yucaipa. I almost always say that word wrong, so it took me a second there. Yucaipa was 22 of 38 for 267 yards and 3 TDs, but he also carried the ball 20 times for 111 yards to help the Thunderbirds snap a 13-game losing streak to Redlands East Valley. Congratulations to Yucaipa on that win there. Travis Dye from Norco, 23 carries, 268 yards, and 4 TDs in a 45-0 win over Chino Hills, who no longer has the balls. LeVar took his ball and went home. Literally.
He only one left. He took his ball and went home.
Yeah, he took it and went home. He's going to homeschool little LaMelo now. We'll go back to high school football.
Good luck. Yeah.
Andy Koch from Roosevelt had an 18-yard scoop and score. Got to love the scoop and scores there. Jacoby Jones from Redlands, 2 kick return TDs from 82 yards to 76 yards. Also took a screen pass 57 yards for a TD. And Redlands lost 28-21 to Carter. He had all 3 touchdowns, but his team didn't help him out the rest of the way. John Ober from Patriot, 229 yards rushing, 2 TDs. He also threw a game-winning screen pass to 30-yard TD to Kenny Barrios with 32 seconds left in a 30-27 win over Montclair. In that same game, Montclair's Eduardo Garcia had 18 carries for 200 yards and 4 TDs in the 3-point loss. Sebastian Kronberger at Lakewood, I think Kronberger went and got animal style. He had an ice bath award game too. 33 carries, 259 yards, 4 TDs, and a 34-31 loss to Milliken. Milliken's first win over Lakewood since 2001. Congratulations to those guys as well. Coincidentally, their coach is actually first-year head coach, played at Lakewood. So a little bit of a rivalry game there, and adding to it, the coach being playing for the other school.
Was that coach there in 2001 as a player?
Not in 2001. He's a younger coach, so a little bit later in his career, I believe. A couple more guys. Cedric Hood from Paramount threw for 189 yards and 3 TDs. Also caught a 53-yard TD pass. And on the defensive side, he had an interception. So big night for Cedric Hood in a 50-27 win over Venice. And last, we got Ryan Cragen again from St. Margaret's, 114 yards receiving, 3 TDs. Also had an interception that he returned for a touchdown. Also had a 72-yard punt return for a touchdown in a 54-0 win. So big night for Mr. Cragen again, 5 TDs.
Woo. All right, I'll let you grab another sip of water there because I know it's probably pretty taxing work there. All right, we're going to get to our game picks. Again, these are all on the Fox Sports Go app. Hashtag Fox Prep Zone if you're trying to keep up on Twitter. There is 4 games that'll just be on the app, 1 that'll be on TV. As always, we do the TV game last. First game we're going to talk about, it is JSerra traveling to Servite. Guy for Servite I want to mention really quick, Tyler McMahon. Having a pretty good start to his season so far. He's got 879 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and my favorite stat, only 1 interception. I'm going to go upset. I'm going to take Servite in this one.
It's an upset because Orange Lutheran is ranked, but Servite's right there on the outside of the top 10 as well. I mean, Julius Irvin's been doing. Of course. Yes, what did I say?
Orange Lutheran.
Oh, yes.
Caught you.
JSerra is a little bit higher. Sorry, they're 6th on it, so a little bit higher. Trinity League, I'm getting them all mixed up now. I'm just so excited to see these games now that they're finally playing each other this week. Servite's got the always dangerous Julius Irvin. You know, he's been making plays on defense, offense, and special teams all year. Trent McDuffie has had some nice plays as well. Titus Toller had a pick 6 a couple weeks ago. I think that Servite team's pretty good. I like the JSerra team, a team that didn't play very well last year, got a new head coach. They've been dominating this year. I think the McLean brothers, especially if both of them are healthy, lead JSerra to the win this week. I got JSerra winning.
Next game, same league, St. John Bosco playing Orange Lutheran. I got a question for you. I'm going to say Orange Lutheran wins this game. Another upset, but I got a question for you. Who's the starting quarterback for Bosco?
Oh, now this is the fun part. The coaches put it as an open competition last week. You got the veteran Real Mitchell, who's known more for being creative with his legs. You got DJ Uwalele, is a 6'4" kid, has got a rocket for an arm. It's going to be interesting to see who they put back there, and that makes it really tough on Orange Lutheran to try to, devise a defensive game plan, knowing that you got 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different styles that they got to compete with. I'm taking Bosco in this, and I think DJ Uwalele is the starting quarterback for him. I think they go with the young buck.
Ooh, okay. Well, either way, it's not the worst thing in the world to just not tell anyone until the game starts. I think that's smart. Make them
strategy.
No reason why not to. Next game, Westlake going to Calabasas. Jacob Plinsky for Westlake, the quarterback, 1,199 yards, almost that 1,200-yard mark, but not quite. I think maybe you got to round that up. If you're keeping track for the stats for Westlake, give the kid the yard. Come on. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. A kid who's on the cusp of being offered. He's on the smaller side, but I think someone needs to give him a shot. I think Calabasas comes up with this one at home. What do you think, Shotgun?
I'm going to take a gamble and say he gets to the 1,200 mark this week.
Ooh, there you
I'm
go.
going to take a big gamble that he'll get one passing yard this week, as long as he's healthy, obviously. But I got Calabasas winning this. I think, playing in the atmosphere they had on Thursday against Valencia, finding a way to win 65-63, I think that's only going to give them a big confidence boost. That receiving core, we talked about a little bit last week with Micah Pittman and Johnny Wilson and Nico Hall, giving Jaden Casey options out there. 3 guys you can throw it to. I'm going to take Calabasas in this one.
All right, second to last game. The last one that's on the app. It's Centennial going to Roosevelt. Roosevelt quarterback Jeremy Musa, another very efficient passer. A lot of good passers in the southern section as far as touchdown and reception ratio. He's got 1,320 yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. Love to see that. However, I don't think it will be enough. I will take Centennial.
I mean, Roosevelt's got a couple of receiving options with Braden Huffman-Dixon and Chase Williams. Chase Williams, who's committed to Nebraska as a defensive back. For Musa to throw to, they beat Ayala 48-6. But like you said, I think the Centennial kind of machine continues in this one. Big Inland Empire game here. I think the Centennial, the Imperial March, as they play often when Centennial scores a touchdown or when they come out of the tunnel. I think the Imperial March marches on.
Have you heard what a broken record sounds like, Shotgun?
Yes, I have.
You're about to hear it again. So here we go. The game of the week, the one that's on TV. It is Upland going to Rancho Cucamonga. And here comes the broken record part. I'm going to talk about another quarterback who's efficient. For Upland, David Baldwin, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. I don't know how these kids are so accurate. His completion percentage is 70. Round that up to 71 if you want. And for that reason, I'm going to take Upland. I mean, that's all you can ask for as a coach.
I'm actually going to go with Rancho Cucamonga here. Matchup of top 10 teams. We got number 5 versus number 7. I like Rancho Cucamonga's defense. I think they put some pressure on David Baldwin and make him not be as accurate and not as efficient as you like to see him. So therefore, I'm going to take the Rancho Cucamonga, the blue, over the Upland green, I believe it is.
All right, there we go. There's our game picks, Shotgun's players from last week, and our top 10. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
A couple more games that kind of stood out. Laguna Hills had to actually cancel their game with Garden Grove because they've had an outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease. That's just kind of crazy to me. And they had to cancel last week.
What is that?
Hand, foot, and mouth disease. It is a contagious disease, which is why they were not able to do it. Were not able to play the game. They were afraid to spread it across to Garden Grove because not all the symptoms often don't show immediately. So they went and basically cleaned the entire locker room and everything to try to eradicate this for next week. So hopefully Laguna Hills, everyone gets healthy there, and they're able to play, their upcoming games as well. One other thing, had some coaching movement. John Kane was fired at Long Beach Jordan. Bob Johnson says he's retiring at the end of the season from Mission Viejo, famous coach there. I think Orange County's winning as coach right now. And his sons obviously were big-time quarterbacks for UCLA and USC. And then Kevin Rooney picking up that 300th win at Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame. Congratulations to Kevin Rooney.
All right, that's it for this week's podcast. We'll see you guys next week with more exciting football information.